two drunk assholes talking about whatever comes to mind. We present Filler with Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Filler is Jack and my insane rambling. In this episode of Filler, we look at a couple of trailers, Batman v Superman, and of course Star Wars Episode 7. Please do note that we are extremely drunk during these recordings, so if we do sound like unintelligent fools, just forgive us. So this last couple weeks, we got treated to two trailers, one which made the internet weep and wet themselves, and the other one made the people weep and wet themselves. And for two totally different reasons.
Yes.
So the first trailer we'll talk about, let's start with the bad one. We'll start with Superman, or Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Is that the official title?
That is, and all it's all horrificness.
Yeah, and so this trailer shows, obviously, the most thing that you always take away from Superman is that people hate him, and that he's Christ. I think that's what you take mostly away from Superman, right?
On a surface, there are subtle subtexts that can be explored involving both of those, but never has it been smushed in your face like wedding cake into a bride's maw, just gnashing it in with gusto. I can't imagine. I'm starting, like, we haven't even described this. The first 2 seconds of the trailer.
It's true, because the trailer starts showing, like, really subtly showing the statue, which is the worst statue of Superman. I don't know what he's doing in that statue. It's a really weird thing. Why wouldn't they have Superman standing with his hands on his hips, like the iconic symbol, right?
Because that's what it should be, and they're doing everything back asswards.
This one, it looks like he's about to, like, pick up something off the ground. It's such a weird statue.
And you know what? It to me, when I first saw the statue, it looked like the part of the trailer, the only part of the trailer for the first movie, The Man of Steel, that I actually thought was enjoyable is when he first learned to fly and he crouches down.
Oh, yeah.
And they show the physics of him moving upward.
And it makes like a blast radius where he jumps off.
And there's a moment where he's fist down on the ground, and I thought, oh, they've got a statue of that. And I thought, well, there was no one there.
And that's not what that statue is either.
But
your thought, just for a second.
This is my thoughts for a second. I'm like, no one was there to see it. No one's, and because it keeps panning out slowly, and you can see it's made of metal, but like chunky bits of metal or something. And finally, I'm like, okay, what's this reveal? It's not what I first implied. Like, and I thought, oh, they're making you correlate between the two because it was a scene, or they're making you think one way. Where's the big flip? What is it that's going to reveal as it slowly pans that's going to be like, oh, okay. And to this day, I don't know.
The reveal is when lightning strikes and it says false god or whatever like that.
But that could have been on the side of a building. That could have been, it could have been a sign a protester was holding up. That could have been a news ticker on the bottom of a talking head on the
which it is. I think it is in all those things also in this trailer.
But the statue.
They go back to their point of them beating your head, like they constantly beating you over the head with, yes, he is Christ. He's a false god, and like this is half the people worship him and half of them want him dead and all this stuff. And okay, so that's what this movie's about for some reason. They wanted to try to make it heady or something. And then Batman shows up.
Yeah, the Batman.
And he looks cool. And there was one scene in the trailer which I thought people would get angry about, but then we cleared it up. He's standing on a tower with a sniper rifle in his hand. And it's from Dark Knight Returns, the comic book. And Jack pointed out, I said, well, I was amazed more people weren't upset about this, but obviously a lot of people who would be upset read the comic and know where it's from. And Jack was like, yeah, but the people who didn't read the comic would think, that's awesome, Batman's gonna shoot some people. Like, that's just the way Batman's been portrayed lately, especially in the cartoons that you've been watching.
But the Nolan movies, he had vehicles with machine guns on them, like, he hasn't in the movies had the epiphany that he's had in comic books. In the comic books, it's canon. Batman used to kill people. He used to kick people in the neck until their necks would snap. He carried guns. In the comic books, he had reached a point where he decided that he wasn't going to kill. In a cinematic, Batman hasn't had that. So it makes sense that until something happens that makes him say, I'm not going to kill, a sniper rifle's a perfect weapon for someone who's using fear and intimidation. That didn't bother me. When I saw that, I was like, okay, that's just the Nolan Batman sniper rifle.
Yeah. And what was the animation with him in the giant mech suit just stomping people?
Oh, that was, I watched Batman vs. Robin. It's the latest in the DC animated movies. And it has Damian Wayne in it, who I can't stand the character. But long and short of it is, much like everything since what was it called? War?
War was the first bad one. Flashpoint was the last good one. It was Flashpoint ended the regular universe and became the New 52 in the animations, and that's where it went all downhill.
Well,
with rapey Superman and terrible Batman.
And retconning history for obnoxious reasons. And the long and short of it is, without ruining any of the plot, it follows the Court of Owls, which I hadn't read the comic books, because I'm not really, I'm not big on the Batman.
Not New 52
anything.
I read a lot of the old ones, and they were great. Ever since it became New 52, Batman's gone downhill.
But it culminates in, and I don't know if it's in the Court of Owls, like a mini series, Alfred is carrying a pump-action shotgun, blasting away at people, mowing down person after person. That Batman couldn't even dent two of them just a half an hour earlier in the movie. In the background, as Alfred, the butler is going commando on all these guys. Batman is wearing a bat mech suit and is literally stomping on people and smashing them with the bat mech fists. And I'm just like, really? That's what it's come down to?
And it seems like they're reflecting that in this new movie. Like, they're obviously taking a lot from Dark Knight Returns with the mech suit that he's going to fight Superman in. And his voice in it, I said his voice is awesome for a serial killer. And you were like, yeah, they're just trying to make the Nolan one sound not a caricature that it became.
That's my point being that it became a parody, the way Christian Bale had done that voice and people made fun of it. But this is supposed to be in the same universe, so there has to be a voice, there has to be, and I think someone went, well, what can we do? And they changed it into like a computer modded voice system, probably in the owl somewhere. There's a microphone. It's pretty standard. I think it's the best case scenario when you're trying to disguise the voice. All the superheroes do it in like Arrow and stuff like that. Like you have to be able to hide your voice, but they had to do it in such a way that it wasn't the same jokey joke that it had become in the Nolan movies. Because people were, for a year later, we're all talking like this. I'm Batman.
Well, look at the Lego Batman. That was the big joke about Lego Batman. That it was Lego Batman, but he still talked like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you never saw Lego Movie?
I saw Lego Movie.
Yeah, with Batman in it, with, was it Will Arnett?
Will Arnett.
But he's doing that voice. Like, that was hilarious because he's singing a song about being Batman in that voice, and, like, they were making fun of it, really. So, yeah, they had to keep to it because it's the same universe, but they also had to try and repair it, and I think they did a decent job. I think he sounds way too evil. Like, and they portray him as evil in that movie. As, like, hey, I'm just gonna kill Batman because I'm a crazy person. Like, it seems to me that they really made him be the bad guy. It reminds me of Civil War from, Marvel, and hopefully the movie won't be like this, but in Civil War, the comic book, it was Iron Man versus Captain America, and you were supposed to root for either side, but it was obviously Iron Man was wrong, and it was hard not to root for anyone but Captain America, because it is Captain America. How can you root against Captain America? And it seems like they're trying to do that here, where, hey, both sides can be right, but they're portraying Batman as, like, evil. And not to mention it's a Superman sequel, so, I don't know. It seems a little, strange what they're doing. We'll have to see what the movie's like, but, this trailer did not make me any more hopeful than I already was.
No, it was a bland, colorless, joyless, gritty for gritty's sake, and surprised me.
Colorless is a good point. The whole movie looks just like dark. Or the whole trailer. It's just like, there's not one sign of light in that whole trailer.
Very Snyder. But there were a couple small tidbits that kind of made me, kind of was like, oh, okay, maybe. Some interesting things that I've had to, like, question, I wonder why that was. Like when the stormtroopers start bowing to Superman as he's walking down a corridor and he kind of looks at them, there's some things that I'm like, why? What?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see it.
But for the most part, I was underwhelmed to the point where I thought, okay, well.
And I think that brings us to the next trailer, which you were overwhelmed by.
But.
Oh. You didn't like my segue?
If Jack and Rob were to save Hollywood trailers,
yeah.
In hindsight, me thinking about that, the first trailer I released for Batman vs. Superman, I would have spliced it together, edited it in such a way that it was like it was his point of view and Superman was the bad guy. And you'd think, oh, okay, well, Batman stopping Superman, yeah, okay. The second trailer would flip the script.
Yeah. Well, they could be doing that, just the opposite. They could be making Batman to be the bad guy in this one. Although it wasn't clear enough that if that's what they're doing, it's not clear.
No, they're both the bad guy in this. There was no, but that's just me in hindsight or afterwards going, how would I have done it differently? The first trailer, and it would be like, oh, Superman's the bad guy, I guess, so I can get that, blah, 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 blah. And then the second trailer, let's see what the second trailer has to offer. And it's the same, it's just the different point of view, and you go, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
If that's what they're going for with the movie. I don't even know.
Superman's trying to bring law and order. He's cracked down on this, and there's a vigilante here. Well, you can't have him running around. I guess I gotta take care of that because I'm Superman. Like, something like that.
That's so obvious for a movie, isn't it? Like, it's every cliche ever. And I hope the movie somehow isn't that, but that's exactly the way it looks like.
But anyways, yeah, that's...
So, yeah, the second trailer, as I was saying, you were hyped about because you weren't that big on this movie, but now you seem to be a little bit bigger on it. And that would be Episode 7 Star Wars.
In hindsight, go back a couple months, get in your Wayback Machines and travel with me. Myself, my girlfriend, and Rob were sitting around talking about movies that were coming out, what was going to be the ones that we were going to watch through the year, what we were looking forward to. And so I said, oh yeah, Star Wars is coming out around Christmas time. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, but we don't need to go to the theater to see that. And I was surprised how quickly I was shouted down that, of course, you'd have to go see Star Wars. And I was like, really?
And we were like, yes, really.
I went to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I've already...
We've discussed in a previous filler how you're a beaten wife.
What's, like, if someone gives you candy and then it tastes like soap, and you go, blah, 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 blah. And then you see that guy the next day and he's like, hey, you want some candy? You go, no, how about you stuff that candy up your ass, because you're not getting me again.
But as I said, this is a different guy trying to give you candy.
So, I didn't even plan to see it in the theater, to be honest. And I was a Star Wars fan. As a kid, Star Wars, those three movies, fantastic. Loved them. Even through my lifetime now, through adolescence all the way up to adulthood, I've rewatched those movies and they're excellent. They're iconic. They do still inspire those feelings they did in me as a kid. But then the prequels ruined it. And that's not just that thing that people say to be edgy and cool. Really, the whole thing was kind of ruined to the point where I had no intentions of seeing this movie until I saw the trailer.
So this trailer opens with a shot of a planet, of desert planet, and the jet bike we saw from the first trailer driving past a X-wing, destroyed X-wing in the desert, and then there's looks like a mountain in the background, but that's no mountain. That is a destroyed Star Destroyer, and that was just that first iconic image. I'm like, yes, this is awesome.
And the score, they've captured the sound of Star Wars, the look of Star Wars. There is more true to the source materialness in the first 3 seconds of this trailer than there was in all of the prequels.
That's true. Well, not to mention there's probably more real sets in this trailer than there was in all of the prequels too.
Probably more practical effects in the first 3 seconds of the trailer than there was in all of those movies.
Yeah. And that's the Star Wars Celebration just happened. And when BB-8 or B-88 or BB-88 or whatever his name is rolled out on stage as a practical effect, people flipped. And it's just neat that there's no more CG, well, very little CG in the way of that kind of stuff. And Abrams also said that in an interview that almost as a jab to Lucas, he said, I think it's best that actors have actual sets to work on against actual people to give the best performances. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, those are the same things that Lucas used to say in the 70s about how it's not the special effects that are telling the story that's telling the story. And then that was all forgotten, obviously. But yeah, I 200%, and you can tell, you can feel it. It's a tangible change in the whole dynamic of just in the trailer from what those prequels were.
And then there's the announcement of the Rogue One prequel. It's actually a prequel to the story that they're going to be doing that movie too, which is interesting. I think it's actually a prequel to the Star Wars. I think it's about the them getting the plans for the Death Star, the original Death Star.
Oh yeah?
I think so. That's what I heard. We'll see if that's true or not in the future. Well, but all these things, it's just adding up to a renaissance. And
bear with me. My theory as to where they are in that movie, I think it's the planet, the moon of Endor that the Ewoks were on.
Well, they've announced what the name of that planet is, so.
Oh.
It's called Jakku or something like that.
Oh, what's wrong with your theory?
Your theory is a little flawed.
Oh, that'd have been awesome.
But it's even awesomer that they're just showing a totally new planet. You don't have to go back to Tatooine. You don't have to go back to Endor, you know?
But the effects of the Death Star exploding right near a moon and having it showered with the atmosphere pummeled and the surface pummeled with all the debris of a full battle of... it would have been... Okay. What's wrong with your face? And then the end of the Star Wars trailer. Even if the X-Wings blasting across the water and the stuff they were showing, Han Solo and Chewbacca come into frame and he says, Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
Like, anyone who doesn't get a chill at that, like, if none of the rest of the stuff really, I guess so, you know, there's a stormtrooper, he's black, so obviously I gotta be hating that. Oh, look, there's some stuff going on, it's, okay, yes. Okay. Just the last 2 seconds there, whatever that was, it's just perfect.
That is true. It's interesting. So, yeah, that was Star Wars. I think that's a sure win. And, pretty soon we'll be seeing Avengers, so it's gonna be a fun summer. That was pretty much it for, this filler.
To discuss those 2 trailers and to put them, as a, you know, one from the sublime to the ridiculous. It was exactly what we expected from from Batman versus Superman. Exactly. You can go listen to our fillers, our Jack and Rob Save Hollywood. You can listen to them all. We almost note for note, stylized, some of the scenes we said that's what it's going to be because they have no idea what they're doing, and there it is, right there. We might as well have just, we're not time travelers, we just knew because everyone knew. Garbage.
Yeah.
To the Star trailer where it's back.
Yeah. And it's in the hands of people who know what they're doing.
It was lovingly and very carefully crafted in a way that really just does justice to the source material. And you can't ask for differently diametrically opposed treatments of iconic figures than how those two trailers treated their source material.
For sure. One brought it back and one just fell farther away.
Yes.
So, until next time, thank you for listening to Filler.
Don't
Bye-bye.
you have anything better to do with your time? Like anything? Your houses are spotless? Like you can't...
Nobody wants to do chores, Jack.
Oh.
Well, there you have it. And if you like Batman v Superman, we're sorry. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Rob.
Funny meeting you here.
In the studio, in front of the mic. It's uncanny.
It's not a regular occurrence anymore. Ever since Studio H got shut down for, well, things.
Violations. Health code violations. You know how it is.
Ever since that happened, it's not been as regular.
Speaking of regular, you regularly update your Twitter account.
I call it our Twitter account because it's Vinland OTR.
And what does that stand for, Rob?
Vinland Old Time Radio. That's this little podcast we do. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Have not.
That's funny because you recorded it. Oh, I didn't tell you were recording?
No, this is just me being me. Anyways, so if someone would want to follow your Twitter account...
Our Twitter account.
How would they do that?
At Vinland OTR.
Fantastic. And people who don't want to follow our Twitter account, who are on Twitter, you make baby Jesus cry. Live with that.
At Vinland OTR. 2 N's in Vinland. It's not Vineland, it's Vinland. If you can't spell, we don't want you.